Assalamu alaikum, dear brothers and sisters. Today, we're going to dive into something that affects many of us, but can be hard to recognize. Have you ever wondered why certain people just seem to drift away from your life, especially when they cause harm to your faith? Sometimes, we may not realize it, but this can be Allah protecting us and preserving our Iman and Taqwa. In this video, we'll explore 6 signs from the Qur'an and Hadith on how Allah moves us away from toxic individuals. As we go through each sign, I want you to reflect and think about whether you've experienced something similar in your life. Let's begin. First sign, Allah protects you from harmful companions. Allah protects us from harmful companions who pull us away from His path. In the Quran, Allah repeatedly reminds believers that they will be tested through relationships, and Allah helps in distancing them from those who lead them astray. Woe to me! Would that I had never taken such a one for a friend. He indeed led me astray from the reminder after it had come to me. And Satan is ever a deserter to man in the hour of need. Let me ask you, have you ever been close to someone who constantly invited you to things you knew were wrong? Maybe it was gossip, lying, or just wasting time on things that brought no benefit to your soul. Over time, did you notice how your focus on Allah became weaker? Picture this, a young man who used to attend prayers regularly, but then started hanging out with a group that always invited him to skip. Slowly, his prayers became irregular and his connection with Allah weakened. Eventually, they had an argument and that friendship ended. At first, he was upset, but later, he realized it was a blessing in disguise because his faith returned stronger. Take a moment now to reflect. Can you think of a time when a harmful relationship in your life ended, and only later did you realize that it was Allah protecting you? Second sign, signs through difficulties. The second sign is that sometimes Allah creates difficulties in our relationships to show us that these people are not good for us. Sometimes Allah allows believers to face difficulties with certain individuals to make them recognize that these people are toxic and detrimental to their faith. But perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you. And perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you. And Allah knows while you know not. Here's an example from daily life. A sister has a close friend who constantly makes fun of her decision to wear hijab or pray. She loves her friend, but she feels her faith is suffering. Over time, misunderstandings build and the friendship ends. Though she feels sad, later she notices how much more peaceful her connection to Allah becomes. Now, let's pause for a moment. Have you ever had a friendship that caused inner conflict with your faith, where you felt torn between your love for Allah and the relationship? Sometimes, the difficulty itself is a sign from Allah. Share your thoughts in the comments. Third sign, the concept of hijrah, leaving for the sake of Allah. The third sign comes from the concept of hijrah, leaving a harmful situation for the sake of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized the importance of leaving situations and people who harm one's faith. According to Hadith Sahih, a man follows the religion of his friend, so each one should consider whom he makes his friend. This Hadith illustrates the importance of keeping good company and avoiding those who negatively influence your religious practice. Allah often moves a believer away from harmful people by making the consequences of staying in their company apparent. Imagine this. A brother works in an environment where his co-workers encourage him to cheat and be dishonest to earn more money. He knows it's wrong, but he struggles. After much thought, he decides to quit and finds another job, even though it pays less. Over time, he realizes that his integrity and Iman are stronger, and Allah blessed him with something far better. Have you ever left a job, friendship, or environment that was pulling you away from Allah? How did that impact your faith? Share what you thought in the comment. Fourth sign, feeling unsettled or uncomfortable. The fourth sign is that Allah gives us feelings of discomfort around toxic people. One of the ways Allah may distance you from toxic people is by instilling in you a sense of discomfort when around them. O you who have believed, do not take my enemies and your enemies as allies, extending to them affection while they have disbelieved in what came to you of the truth. If you feel uneasy or conflicted around certain people who damage your relationship with Allah, This could be a sign from Allah to distance yourself. Picture this. A Muslim woman finds herself feeling uneasy every time she's around a group of friends who backbite and mock religious practices. She starts distancing herself, recognizing that their influence is pulling her away from her deen. Over time, she surrounds herself with more God-conscious friends and finds inner peace. Have you ever felt that inner uneasiness when around people who negatively affect your relationship with Allah? That feeling might be a sign from Allah to distance yourself. Let us know in the comments if you've experienced this. Fifth sign, increased taqwa through separation. The fifth sign is that moving away from toxic people often leads to an increase in taqwa. Separation from harmful individuals often results in an increase in taqwa, as Allah replaces these negative influences with better ones. O you who have believed, if you fear Allah, He will grant you a criterion and will remove from you your misdeeds and forgive you. And Allah is the possessor of great bounty. Taqwa God consciousness is often enhanced when one moves away from environments that compromise it, and Allah facilitates this separation for the sincere believer. Here's a relatable example. A young man is in a relationship where his partner mocks his efforts to pray and read Qur'an. After much reflection, he ends the relationship for the sake of Allah. He then notices that his focus on worship becomes sharper, and he feels an increased sense of God consciousness. Have you experienced a separation from someone and later felt your Iman was stronger because of it? Sometimes Allah removes people so we can grow closer to Him. Share your thought in the comment. Have you ever experienced something like this? Sixth sign, positive changes in your life. The sixth and final sign is that after removing toxic people, you notice positive changes in your life. Sign from Allah is when you experience positive changes in your faith, focus, and emotional well-being after leaving toxic individuals. The best of companions in the sight of Allah is the one who is best to his companion. Allah's mercy often manifests in bringing believers into contact with better people who help them grow spiritually after moving them away from harmful relationships. A brother used to spend time with negative friends who encouraged bad habits. He slowly distanced himself, and after that, Allah brought new companions into his life who encouraged him to go to the mosque and attend Islamic study circles. His entire outlook changed, and he felt much closer to Allah. Think about a time when you distanced yourself from bad influences and felt positive changes in your life. It's often a sign of Allah's mercy guiding you to better company. Share your thoughts below. Dear brothers and sisters, these are 6 signs that Allah is protecting us from toxic people who can harm our Iman and Taqwa. It's important to recognize these signs and trust that Allah knows what is best for us, even if we don't see it at first. Before you go, I'd love to hear your experiences in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and may Allah protect us all from harmful relationships and guide us to the best companions.